Good evening, everybody. Hope all of you had a wonderful Thursday and that your week is going well so far. We're heading as tomorrow will be June 30th. We are heading towards the halfway point of 2023. Although technically, according to Gretchen Rubin, the halfway day is Sunday the 2nd. But in my case, I thought I'd get a head start on looking back at the first half of the year. With that being said, of course, I wrote a poem for this specific occasion. It goes something like this. As the first half of 2023 concludes, 6 months went by so quickly, yet it felt like a year has gone by. With all the changes in life, new job, new poetry platforms, and new experiences, surrounded by new and old friends. The inner leader was welcomed in as I took on Manhattan, with flowers, bamboo, and photos to document the changing times and perhaps a changing me. At the midpoint of the year, a moment here to catch one's breath before the second half of 2023 begins. So yeah, we're at the midway point of the year. I can't believe it. Just felt like it was New Year's Day 5 minutes ago, and the last strains of Old Lang Syne during the Salute to Vienna concert were being performed on New Year's Day, and I did honestly, like, I didn't have much in the way of expectations when 2023 began. I was in the midst of my job search. It wasn't going particularly well at the time. All the job applications and not much to show for it at the time. But I was still determined, figuring, okay, the holidays are over. I might have better luck finding the next job in January. And even then, like, as the month went on, it looked like I was going to be going through the same patterns again of applying and then nothing turning up. And then go figure, at the end of January, everything seemed to change in less than 3 days. And the rest of the year has been exploring my new job, even if it's a temporary one for right now. For right now, it's a temp position. It still means I embrace the opportunity that I have. And on the plus side, being down in Lower Manhattan, I get to explore the neighborhood I'm in, do more with my lunch break than I ever did in 8 years working at my previous job. And in the midst, find that sense of peace, that moment of peace in between home and work. Just being out and about brings a measure of peace to life. It's also been a time of year where I've begun to meet up with friends again. Although, I'll admit, once Friday afternoon hits, it becomes really difficult for me to get off my behind and actually enjoy life on the weekends, because I tend to crash, and then before I know it, it's already Sunday afternoon and the week starts over again. But I am beginning to to reconnect with people. And those moments, whether it be seeing the sunset through Italy's windows when my friend Debbie came to town in April, the beaming smile on my face the moment I saw Wendy coming down the street in May, and seeing my friend Jen in her unmistakable purple hairdo coming my way just 3 weeks ago. Just having that sense of connection with people, to me, it's priceless. And as far as my writing goes, like, it's been a 6 months of expansion where I've gone. I didn't imagine myself being on TikTok, being on YouTube, or being on Slack when the year began. But I decided to give those platforms a chance, and defying my latency, I've still kept at it after all these months. And just the embrace with the ideas of listening to my intuition, just trying to listen to myself more, listen to the inner leader, as we together try to sort out this crazy thing that life brings, and all its pitfalls, whether it be internally or externally, just to learn to try to learn to trust myself a bit more than I do. And of course, like, document everything like a madman, like always having a camera at my side for photos of nearly everywhere that I go, of all the interesting things that I've come across on a daily basis. So yeah, here we are at the end of June. The next 6 months, the second part of the year, with the next 6 months are on the horizon. But what's next, you might be wondering. For starters, today was the first group coaching call for this project I'm involved in with Sulit Press, called Going Places. It's a book of travel essays. I'll be writing one of the chapters for the book, and it'll be out late September. By that time, I'll be somewhere in Greece on the vacation that my logical self would have shied away from booking at the end of last year, barely a week removed from quitting my previous job. But the urge to travel was too strong, and let alone saving money on the trip, knowing that I go by myself, the two forces were too strong to not, life's too short to not do what you love. And then come the end of October, it'll be the third anniversary of a poetic journey, and I'll be spending it meeting my friend Wendy at her place in Massachusetts. Before even those, it's the New York Poetry Society's Poetry Fest at Governor's Island at the end of July. That attempt to grow in the poetic community and do something that I've long wanted to do, but I never had the nerve to be in the presence of my fellow poets in person. And in between all of that, there's still plenty of room between now and New Year's Eve to make this a memorable finish to the year. And above all else, I'm hoping that at year's end, I'll be in a more permanent job, because the temp assignment ends in September. about the same time as the book comes out and the Greece trip happens. So the plans are to have a more permanent position before the end of this year. And while I'm at it, just like enjoy my life as much as I can. Like it's this first half has taught me life's too short to not be available for the things that delight and excite you. And with that, that's a wrap for the first half of 2023. And I hope all of you have a wonderful weekend. For our Canadian brethren, hope all of you have a wonderful Canada Day on Saturday. And for everyone in the States, on Tuesday, I hope all of you have a wonderful 4th of July too. And I hope I hope all of us have the second half of the year for all of us is an amazing next 6 months. That's it for me in this week's video. I have gone a little bit longer than I usually do, but there was a lot to talk about in this one. Granted that the poem was a lot shorter than this video. And with that being said, good night, everybody.